All right, pre-flight is done. All the briefing is done. At this point, we are getting ready to go. We've given the go, go, go signal, and the vehicle is taken off, and the pilot starts to run forward. When the pilot takes off, it takes a little more pressure to get them off the ground, and then once they're up, we reduce the pressure just slightly so that they can fly a little more safely. Remember, we don't want tons of pressure. We don't want to over tow them, and we don't want to lock them out. You can see the pilot is staying on line with the van as they start to drift a little bit. They're using weight shift, hands off the brakes to bring them back on line with the vehicle. When the pilot is correcting, we bring the pressure down to make sure that we're not adding any complexity to their correction. There we go. They start to come back in line, and we can put the pressure back up just a little bit. So with the pressure up, we maintain visual confirmation with the pilot, and we maintain an eyeball on the tow line itself. What we want is we want a bow in that line in between the winch and the pilot themselves. That bow in the line allows for a few seconds delay between either the winch and the pilot or the pilot and the winch. So should the vehicle go over bumps, it doesn't hit them immediately, and should the pilot hit a thermal, we have a couple seconds to react to back that pressure down so we don't straighten that line and lock them out. So the pilot's doing an excellent job. You can see using their feet, using their weight shift, staying in line. They're drifting a little bit just as they start to get higher. The wind was a little bit cross up high that day. So still doing a good job staying in line behind the vehicle. We'd previously discussed specific points at which the pilot would pin off if they did not get the signal or did not hear the radio to pin off, so that they didn't overfly the van or overfly the vehicle that's towing them. There we go. Good weight shift, right back on line. You can see they're straight in line behind that little point on the ground, the vehicle. Even something that big can be hard to see when you're up a bit. So they're now getting the signal to pin off, transitioning brakes to one hand, and they pin off. All right, and you can see the tow bridle came up, looped around their toggle. They pulled that off, cleared that malfunction, went for a nice fly. At this point, we've dropped the pilot's perspective, and you're getting just a little bit of perspective of the tow tech. The tow tech is now operating the rewind, so we've changed the valve configuration on the hydraulics to start rewinding the line back in. As we do this, we keep an eye on the drogue to make sure that we don't have the drogue impact the mast at the end of the rewind. If that happens, it's possible we can have line dig, where we create a ton of tension and we dig the line into the drum itself. Overall, though, we didn't have that happen here. We kept a good eyeball on it. Everything went according to plan. Pilot made almost 1,300 feet on tow in just under 3 minutes. So very, very efficient tow that day. Went very well, extremely safe, and good flights.